Amen, amen, amen. Welcome to the Bible study. This wonderful evening, amen. Got some feedback from last week. Y'all said that your the mic was a bit soft, so hopefully this one is louder. Amen. I can see the green bar there is the volume is very big, so hopefully y'all can hear it nice and clear. Amen. Wonderful that you can join me today. Amen. Today we are going to go and continue on the book of Joshua. Joshua chapter 4. Last week we looked at letting God lead our way. To follow his lead and take a step of faith last week in Joshua chapter 3. So now we're going to go with Joshua chapter 4. Amen. Chapter 4 verse 1. And it came past when all the people were clean past over Jordan, that the Lord spake unto Joshua, saying, verse 2, Take you 12 men out of the people, out of every tribe a man, verse 3, and command ye them, saying, Take you hence out of the midst of Jordan, out of the place where the priest's feet stood firm, 12 stones, and ye shall carry them over with you, and leave them in the lodging place where ye shall lodge this night. Verse 4, Then Joshua called the 12 men whom he had prepared of the children of Israel out of every tribe a man. Verse 5, And Joshua said unto them, Pass over before the ark of the Lord your God into the midst of Jordan. Take ye up every man of you a stone upon his shoulder, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Israel. Verse 6, That this may be a sign among you, that when your children ask their fathers in the time to come, saying, What mean ye by these stones? And verse 7 says here, Then ye shall answer them that the waters of Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it passed over Jordan, the waters of Jordan were cut off, and these stones shall be a memorial unto the children of Israel forever. So, what is God actually asking them to do? So, basically, what happens in this chapter is that now that they have passed over to the river Jordan, last week we learned that God did a miracle and allowed them to pass over the Jordan River. And now God is saying, take some stones, take big stones, these massive stones, okay, carry them and put it in the middle of the Jordan River, okay. And so uh, uh, this is for a memorial. It says that this is for a reminder of what God has done. So, which is actually, if you think about it, that's a very smart idea. Okay, because if anyone passed by the river, they will see, "Whoa, why I got this big stone in the middle of the river? It doesn't make any sense." Okay, so this is set as a reminder for them. Okay, so they're talking about big rocks, and they will put it in the middle of the Jordan River, and it will be as a reminder. So using stones as a reminder is very common. Right? In the olden times, is very common. The Egyptians built obelisks. Okay, I think show the picture. You see, that is the obelisk for the Egyptians. They built a long, tall stone, and they carve words on it. And they also the next one I'm saying, okay, that is called a rune stone. This is the Scandinavians. They would do this. They would do drawing on the stones. Very cute one. You see, like snakes and ladder like that. Okay, so a big stone, and they write some words on it. Okay, so the Israelites do the same thing. They took a stone and they put it in the middle, 12 stones in the middle of the Jordan River, so anyone passing by, they would know. Okay, verse 8, And the children of Israel did so as Joshua commanded, took up 12 stones out of the midst of Jordan, and the Lord spake to Joshua according to the number of tribes of the children of Israel, and carried them over with them into the place where they launched, and laid them down there. Verse 9, Joseph set up 12 stones in the midst of Jordan, in the place where the feet of the priests stood, the feet of the priests which bear the ark of the covenant stood, and they are there unto this day. Okay, now you see here verse 9, they will say they are there unto this day. I will explain that in a moment. So what they are doing is they want to show God's miracle. Okay, and so they do it by taking large rocks and putting in the middle of the river, so anyone crossing they can see. Okay, and we can learn something from this. Okay, and we can learn something, and that is, it is good practice that whenever God does something for you, to set a reminder that God has done it for you. Okay, maybe write a note, or set alarm, on your handphone, or write down on your calendar. This day God did this miracle for me. What did God do this for me? When God did this, when God did that. It is good to set a reminder of God's miracles. Okay, because at the end of the day, we are humans, we are flesh, and this is speaking from experience. Sometimes I cannot sleep at night, and when I cannot sleep at night, my brain, wanders off, and then suddenly all kinds of memory come back, or your memory of 4 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or memory when I am a small kid. This person do what to me lah. This person go and do that to me. This person say that to me. This person wrong me. That person wrong me. Okay, all the good memories I don't remember. All the bad one, you very easy to remember. Okay, but miracles that God did, I don't remember. Okay, the miracles that God do. Wow, this God open door in my in the area that I need help with. I don't remember. But all the things from many years ago, you go and remember. Okay, this is very common. Okay, many of us do this. Okay, but it's good to remember what God has done. Okay, instead of remembering what rubbish from donkey years ago happened to you. Okay, it is good practice, because we can be forgetful, and that is part of being human. Okay, I bet many of you cannot even remember what you had last week for lunch. Alright, so it is good to set a reminder. When God does a miracle for us, it's good to set a reminder. Okay, now there are a few things I want to look into in this verse 9. Okay, few important points. Especially the last few words. Okay, the last few words are, and they are there unto this day. Now, a lot of people will, people who don't read Bible, they often at times don't understand the context. So they would take this verse and they'll ask you proof. Hey, where is the stones today? Okay, so okay, how do you answer this? Okay, if you try and find the stones today, it's like the verse says here, and they are there unto this day, you cannot actually find them anymore. They are gone. And the reason why they are gone is actually because of something. It can be explained very simply with what you call a phenomenon called erosion. Okay, so erosion, it happens when stones erode when they are struck with wind or water. Okay, so this is a very common phenomenon. Okay, if you go to the waterfall, this happens much quicker. When you examine waterfall like Niagara Falls, okay, when you examine the waterfalls, erosion happens very quick, and what erosion does is that it breaks up the stone. Okay, so over time the stone will break up. Okay, it will break, it will tear. As the water keeps hitting the stone will break up. Okay, and so this is what happens when you put stone, in the middle of the river lah. Okay, so erosion happens, and eventually the stone will be gone. Okay, so if you check today in 2017, if you go and look for the stones, you cannot find the stones. Okay, but here this verse is okay, sorry, today is 2020. Okay, this I've wrote this in 2017, so that's very long time, 3 years already. This Bible study was done on 2017, so very long time already. So I write here 2017, but actually now it's 2020 lah. If you go 2020, you go and find the stones, you won't find the stones. Okay, because the rocks are eroded already. Okay, but the verse here in verse 9, when they say, and they are there unto this day, it is not talking about 2020. Okay, it's not talking about 2017. Okay, it's not talking about today, here today. Okay, but what it's actually saying is that whoever compiled this, okay, the historian that compiled the book of Joshua, when he is compiling the book, when he's writing down what Joshua did, okay, Joshua did here and this year and what he did and what he did, he when he wrote this part, he remember, the stones are still there. Okay, so I don't know how long, I don't know when this was compiled, I don't know lah. Maybe 40 years after all of Joshua did, or what Joshua did. Who knows? But after some time, when the historian was compiling this, he's writing, they are still there to this day. So when the historian was writing this book, he said, the stones, you still can go and see the stones. Okay, so that is how you answer why is there this few words here at the few words at the verse 9, that very weird. Okay, so anyway, let's continue. Okay, verse 10. For the priests which bare the ark stood in the midst of Jordan until everything was finished, that the Lord commanded Joshua to speak unto the people according to all that Moses commanded Joshua. And the people hasted and passed over. Okay, so the priests who bore the ark stood in the midst of Jordan until everything was finished. Okay, and the priests holding the ark for the entire time the nation crossed over. Okay, so this is a visible presence of God, that He remained in the midst of the problem for the entire time. Okay, that God was with them the entire time. Okay, verse 11. And it came to pass that when all the people were clean passed, and the ark of the Lord passed over in the priests, in the presence of the people, verse 12, that the children of Reuben, the children of Gad, and half the tribe of Manasseh passed over armed before the children of Israel, as Moses spake unto them. So remember, there are 12 tribes. Okay, 3 of the 12 tribes already have land. They already have land before the Jordan River. Okay, the other 9 don't have any land. So they are passing over Jordan to find land. Okay, so so Moses said, you 3 go and help them. Okay, so the 3 remaining 3 tribes that have land pass over to help them also. Okay, verse 13. And about 40,000 prepared for war passed over before the Lord unto battle to the plains of Jericho. Now I want to make some small amendment here, some mistakes that I made last week. If I'm not mistaken, last week I said there are many people, hundreds of thousands of people that cross over the river Jordan, which was a mistake, because what happens was, when God freed the slaves from Egypt, when God freed the Hebrews from Egypt, they were 800,000 men. Okay, not counting women and children. So if you if you add it together, it's easily crossing over 1 million. So 1 million people, over 1 million slaves came out of Egypt. Okay, but most of them actually died in the wilderness. Okay, most of them actually die in the wilderness. So now we see how many people that are remain. Okay, 40,000. Okay, that are prepared for war, not counting women and children. Okay, so maybe I would say like 100,000. Maybe there's 100,000 of them left lah. Okay, so here in verse 14. On the day of the Lord magnified Joshua in the sight of all Israel, and they feared him as they feared Moses all the days of his life. Verse 15. And the Lord spake unto Joshua, saying, verse 16, command the priests that bear the ark of the testimony that they come up out of Jordan. Verse 17. Joshua therefore commanded the priests, saying, come ye up out of Jordan. Verse 18. And it came to pass when the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord were come out of the midst of Jordan, and the soles of the priest's feet were lifted up unto dry land, the waters of Jordan returned to their place, and flowed over all his banks as they did before. Okay, as they did before. What is this saying? This is saying God can make miracles that are impossible and make it look like it's something normal. It make it look like something natural. Okay, God stopped the river and God just continued back the river just like that. Okay, our God is a powerful God. Okay. Verse 19, and the people came out of Jordan on the 10th day of the first month and camped in Gilgal in the east border of Jericho. Verse 20, and those 12 stones which took off Jordan, which they took out of Jordan, did Joshua pitch in Gilgal. And they encamped in Gilgal. Okay, so Gilgal will be a base of operations for them. Okay, and so it was appropriate that the first work at Gilgal was to set up a memorial for God's great work. Verse 21, and he spake unto the children of Israel, saying, when your children shall ask their fathers in the time to come, saying, what mean ye these stones? Okay, what is the meaning of all these 12 stones? Okay, verse 22, and ye shall tell your children now, saying, Israel, come over this Jordan on dry land. Verse 23, for the Lord your God dried up the rivers of Jordan from before you, until ye were passed over, as the Lord your God did to the Red Sea, which he dried up from before us, until we were gone over. So again, the reference, Joshua, remember Joshua, how Joshua did this miracle, if he is that he took the reference from Moses. He see that his pastor is doing a miracle. Okay, then he also believe, oh, I worship the same God. God also can help me do this miracle. Okay, and so Joshua also, he parted the waters of Jordan. Okay, verse 24, and that all the people of the earth might know the hand of the Lord that is mighty, that ye might fear the Lord your God forever. Okay. Okay. So when you set reminders of God's miracles, it not only helps you, but it also helps people of the world to know. Okay, that even other people, non-Christians, you see, not the when non Hebrews go to the river and they see, oh yo, what kind of stone is this? Then they would start to theorize. Must be this person, must be that person. Okay, God doing miracles, even other people can see. Not only for us Christians to see, but for other people to see. Okay. Okay, why Joshua would set up a reminder for the children of Israel is not because so they can live in a dreamland about good times. Okay, it is not for you to say, you remember when God did this for me, oh, that was the good times. Okay, but this was done so the children would do the same and remember the power of God. And so we must remember them as a point of faith. Whenever God do a miracle for us, we must remember them as a point of faith, that we can trust God for greater and greater works in the future, because we have seen and experienced his past faithfulness. Okay, these stones were the stepping stones for Joshua and the people to have faith in God, and to have faith in God that he would do great miracles. So I'm gonna end with a small little assignment for all of you. So all of you should grab a pen and list down and all the miracles that God done for you that you can recall. Okay, and if you cannot recall, pray to God, ask him to remind you. Amen. And then put it, set alarm or something. Nowadays very easy to set alarm for and many things. Okay, you can use Google, you can use Siri, all kinds. Okay, so that's it for our Bible study this week. Amen. Thank you for joining us. Remember, next week is going to be very exciting. We're going to look into okay, let's see what we have for next week. Yeah, they're still preparing. Yeah, next week Joshua 5 will be about them still preparing, not yet fighting, not yet at Jericho yet. Okay, but Jericho is going to be very fun, very interesting. Okay, but and then next week we will look at how they are preparing some more before the battle. Amen. Thank you for joining us, and see you all next week. Bye. Okay, 可以关了。